Good morning.
Can you able to hear me? Seems you can able to hear me, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, fine. So, anyone new for today?
Yeah, yes, sir. This is Monica.
Okay.
Today is my demo class.
Yeah, yeah. Can you please explain, like, are you experienced or a fresher? Or how
Okay,
is it?
I'm fresher.
Okay, okay. Fine, fine. Anyone new? Yes.
Hi, Nikhil Frishawan here. This is my second.
Yeah, yeah. Hi. Your name, please.
Shravan.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
Sir, this is Toshi and today is my second class.
Great. Yeah. Fine. So we were actually said I'll just
Hello?
give you 1 minute of overview. Yeah, yeah. Please.
Sir, I have paid day before study fees, but I didn't add in the group of WhatsApp.
Yeah. Oh, is it? Yeah. So at the end of the batch, you can I will ask you, then let me know. Yeah, guys. Let me just make it
Okay.
very clear the discussion. Yeah. I'll just explain you the concept, and we'll quickly move into the topic. So initially, yeah, you can please reconnect. You can please reconnect. People who cannot hear me can reconnect. I would explain you the process clearly. Let us understand how the process is going. So I will be making every point very clear. If you have any doubts, you can ask me at the end of the class as well. So we were actually discussing about basics of Python initially. After completing the basics of Python, that means we'll cover all the topics in an overview, not completely Python, because the reason our syllabus is Selenium with Python. But as my interest, my personal interest, I am taking some extra topics, which is Python basics, which is core Python. So whatever I am teaching is more than enough for Selenium. But if you want to learn Python in a very deeper and a very clearer way, I prefer not to just depend on the content what I am teaching. But whatever I am teaching uh, is enough for your this purpose. What for your Selenium purpose. Then coming to the Selenium, we will discuss each and every topic in a very detailed way. But because Selenium uh, please be mute. Selenium, we will discuss each and every topic in a very clear and detailed way. We will discuss from the scratch how exactly Selenium works in Python. Selenium is basically a web application. It's all basically about automating that web application majorly into functional testing. So we will be doing, we'll be testing the web applications using Selenium, which is integrated with Python. By integrating the Python code by API bindings, Selenium API bindings are integrated with Python, and we are going to build a system. We are going to build automation system which can automate any web applications. So we will see each and every element or each and every component of web application. So you can, by the time we complete this Selenium concepts, I'll give you guarantee that you can able to, till this point, you can automate any application once we complete all these things. Then we will discuss about frameworks. Frameworks is all about, how do you organize your code. So how do you organize your code? So that basic, how do you run your test cases parallelly? How exactly the real time in companies, how the framework look like? How do you build your own test cases? How do you automate your own test cases? How do you run them in parallel? How do you integrate with test reports? So someone who is there, Tanvi, can you please reconnect, because it's hearable for other people. So we will try to create a complete framework from end to end. Here, out of my interest, again, I'm going to give you end-to-end framework automation structure, which is a real-time project. I don't give you application, rather I'll give you a framework structure. Okay, because I cannot disclose any application of mine. I will give you a random some sample application, but my company's application I cannot disclose you. I can give you a framework which you can automate any web application, because if you go for any company, every company they has their own application. You can automate your own application by the framework which I provided you. Okay, that you can claim out. So this is something that I'm going to help you out in terms of all the frameworks that are there in Python that will be taught for you. Okay, all the frameworks which are there as part of Python. So whatever I'm teaching is more than enough for you for Python automation framework. Then coming to, I'll be teaching you Git and Jenkins, how Git and Jenkins will work in real time, and also real-time project. One real-time project, which is again out of my interest, I'm providing end-to-end framework, how to build a complete framework from the scratch. I'll be teaching you end-to-end framework from the scratch. Then out of my interest again, I'm going to teach you API testing, both manual and automation, which is extra syllabus. Normally API testing is a separate course, but I want to include this as a complete course. Complete end-to-end Postman tool will be taught, and on top of it, automation with API testing will be taught. Then I'll be teaching you agile methodology, complete agile Jira I'll be teaching you, and then on top of it I'll be teaching you manual testing to some extent. So along with all these things, so this is like a package coming from Python basics to complete end-to-end API testing, manual testing, agile, automation testing, Selenium, automation build, complete framework, end-to-end framework. If you don't have idea, no issues, but whatever I'm teaching is enough. Then after I'll share you 100 plus HR contacts whom you can directly talk with them and get the interviews done. So it's a very simple way of our discussion. There is nothing of much discussion. So I will just move to our topics, because we were teaching something called we were into the first basics. Only 4 days class are completed till now. I'll give you by Tuesday or Wednesday, one day I'll take a complete backup session. So we are completed till this point. Till this point we have completed, which are very basic data types, conditional statements, loops we have completed, and functions we have completed. We are now into object-oriented programming. File handling also we completed. So we are yet to discuss the object-oriented programming and file handling. Got it right? Robot framework will not be discussed. PyTest will be discussed. Robot framework is a different framework. I'll give you, if you want, I'll give you a reference. But robot framework will be considered as a different framework part of art, because we are going to discuss pure Selenium. Okay. BDD is a part. BDD. We will be discussing BDD Cucumber, not robot. BDD Cucumber is again a part of it. But yeah, we will be discussing BDD Cucumber. See, robot framework is also built on a BDD process or a BDD framework model. Out of BDD, there are multiple. We have behave, we have robot and all stuff. So we are going to discuss Cucumber. We are going to discuss in BDD. We are going to discuss Cucumber integrations. Understood, right? We are going to discuss PyTest, unit test, BDD framework, data-driven framework, hybrid framework. We are going to discuss, integration with page object model. All the integrations we will discuss. Everything as part of UI, basically Selenium. BDD, I mean, this robot will become a different one. We are not going to discuss. Okay, that is this is more than enough, guys. See, I will give you guarantee after this class is completed. This, I mean, what I'm trying to say, after this, whatever my session is completed, you can right away go and keep 2 years, 2.5 years experience in Selenium with Python without any practice, by the practice of my class every day. If you practice my class in Selenium, not this Python, after Selenium, whenever you start, you can right away claim 2 years experience without any further discussions. Understood, right? So let us not waste time, because people are already I will just start my class. Any doubts you can ask me. 1 minute. Hardly we have 1 minute.
So for Selenium, do we need to install some separate tool to practice?
I will give you end-to-end explanation of that. We are still in Python basics. Okay. So you don't need to have anything about now. Now it is very simple. We have not even started Selenium. We are just discussing very basic Python concepts. So I will explain you end to end how to install, what is a backend, how it works, and everything. Whenever we start Selenium, I'll explain. We have not started anything yet in Selenium. Our syllabus is not started, if I say clearly. Clear, right, everyone?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to discuss about object-oriented programming. Again, I'm saying it will be an overview discussion. So I'll just explain you what is an object-oriented programming. Any programming language that consists of a class, that consists of a structure where we have a class, object, and method, is all about object-oriented programming, because you don't need to follow the procedure of executing the code step by step. So in object oriented programming, it's not a step by step execution. It's an execution where you create an object and call the methods using the object. So that's completely an object oriented. If you see the object oriented programming in Python, in the market, in the computer languages, so Java is a pure object oriented programming language. Okay, whereas Python is both object oriented and procedure oriented. You can create or you can write any program both in object oriented way and normal way, like your C, like a step by step execution. So Python is not a pure object oriented language. Python is also a object oriented language. Okay, so when I say when it is object oriented languages, there are certain things that come into picture. So what I mean to say is, like, there are certain things like class, object, okay, and then methods, calling the methods and all. So there are a lot of inbuilt process that we see as part of our object oriented programming. I would explain you every topic in a very clearer way, just make you understand how exactly this works. So I'll just create a small class and I'll explain you how this object oriented programming works. Meanwhile, you want me to teach theory? Theory part is not required, guys, but yeah, I would, if you, I'll see if there is any theory part is there for your understanding. Because I believe that everyone knows basics of object oriented programming. If you're not, don't worry, guys. I would give you some basics. I'll also give you a basic. Yeah, no issues. See, how do you create a object oriented, a class in Python? You create a class like this, class name. You can give any class name except the identifiers. You know what is identifier, right? We accept the keywords. We cannot give any keywords. Okay, we cannot give any identifiers, or we cannot provide any keywords. So keywords cannot be provided as a class name. Like we cannot say class if, class with, or we can say class for. We cannot use class for, class del. We cannot use anything like that which are keywords. There are some keywords in Python which are inbuilt words. Inbuilt words means they have their own implementation. You cannot use those keywords as class name. So you can say like this, class, any class name except keywords. And this is not mandatory. Where if you are providing any uh, object inheritance, you can able to create, but otherwise you don't require it. Colon, this is called colon. So what you need to say, class name, colon, then whatever you are writing is considered as inside the class. Okay, so normally what is a class? Class is nothing but it consists of two things, guys. One is variables and other is methods. In a class, in Python, in object oriented programming, a class consists of two things. We say behavior and attributes. Similar to that, we have something called variables and methods. So in a class, what do you have? You have variables and methods. So these are called methods. Methods are nothing but functions. Anything that is defined inside the class is called a method. A function is defined inside the class, then that is called as a method. So you have methods. There are three methods. I can create n number of methods as part of my class. So anything that is starting with def is called as a method or function. So when you are writing inside it, then you say it is a method. So I have three methods here and one variable here. So a class consists of variables and methods. It's not mandatory to have both, but if you have anything of or both, then you say it is a class. So class is a combination of methods and variables. That is what you need to remember. So I have created a variable that is outside the method but inside the class. Can you see? This is actually, there are three methods. This is called a variable. A variable means what? Variable is anything that has value. Value aside is called as a variable. So here if I say a equal to 10, this is a variable, right? I'm assigning 10 value to a. So what does it mean? This is called as a class variable. Any variable that is part of class outside the method but inside the class is called as a class variable or static variable. Understood, right? Just need to understand a simple way. How do you do that? Any variable that is defined inside the class but outside the method is called as a class variable. Then you can define the methods. Def, I have a method called f1. What is this? F1. I can create any method name. Then you see there is something called, no, it is not a global variable. Global variable is something that can be accessed throughout the program. Okay, I will explain you what does it exactly means global variable. You can say if you want to create any variable global, you can say global that variable. I'll explain you later. That's a different story around. So I'm just creating def any function one. Self comma self. What is the self? Do anyone know what is self in self keyword, or what is called as self argument or self parameter as part of method? Everyone knows what is self. Self is nothing but it is a very simple way. It is assigning to the present argument, or you can say it is nothing but it is referring to the present object. That means what actually Python has done. Suppose think that in your program you have hundreds of variables. Your code will be big. Okay, your size of your code will be big when you have hundreds of variables. Okay, you have hundreds of variables. What happens? Your size of your code will be big. Internally, I'm saying, not physically what you see. So what happens? Yes. What happens? People have whenever they are developing, they have used something called self. Self means instead of creating multiple variables, they have created one variable. That is like whenever we are using name, self will be integrating with name. Whenever we are using age, it will be assigning to age. Whenever we are using salary, it will be assigning to salary. What exactly I mean to say, I'll explain you here. So self is like a referring to the present object. So what I did, physically I'm not creating name, age and salary. I'm only creating one variable called self. What I'm doing here, whenever there is a use of name, I'm saying self dot name. So that self is actually is connecting with name. It is being called with the name. Whenever I require age, I'm creating self dot age. Whenever I need salary, I'm creating self dot salary. So that means here it is like an instance of a class. You can say it is like referring to the present object. Whenever name is used, I want to call name. Whenever I want to call name. So what this self is going to do? Self is going to, self is a sample variable. I'll give you a simple example. You don't need to, take it as a thing. So I'll just give you a simple example. I'll explain you what does this internally works out. So see guys, how many variables we have? We have multiple variables, right? We have name, we have age, we have something called address. Okay, what I'm trying to say, instead of that, I'll create some variable. I'll create a variable called self. I'll create a variable called self. This is actually the internal thing that works. Okay, I will not create these three variables. Suppose think that in my class A program, suppose my class employee, this is the class employee. Okay, I have suppose hundreds of variables like this wherever I need. So A, B, C, I have hundreds of variables like this. Instead of creating all these variables, what I do, I'll create a variable called self. Okay, whenever I need, I create a variable called self. You just need to understand how it is working. I'll create a variable called self. What I will
So
do,
instead of 3, we'll just create 1, and those 3 falls apart in self, right?
yes. So what happens whenever I need name, whenever I want to print a name, so what I'll do, I will assign this self with that name. I'll say self dot name. I go you're getting right. See, at the same time, you don't require all the 3 variables usage, right? You require whenever you want one variable usage, that variable will be integrated with self. Understood, right? See, instead of name, I want to call name. So what I say, instead of name, I say self dot name. You're not getting what I'm trying to say? it is actually basically you will get, yeah. No, with F cells also we can create a variable. Self is nothing but it is a what I mean to say, self is nothing but it is actually a referring to the present object. You don't need to say only self, you can give any name. It is not mandatory to give self, but what I'm saying here, you can give any name, guys. It is not self. You can give kelp, you can give my name, you can give your. You have to create a variable. That variable is nothing but it is referring to the present object. So you will say dot object. Yeah. Self is actually a keyword. You can give any other keyword. So I'll give you example. So instead of name, I'll say self dot name. Instead of age, I'll say self dot age. Instead of salary, I'll say self dot salary. So what happens here? I am not creating three variables. Whenever I want to say I want to print a name, I can get self dot name. That only that element, whichever that self is there, that self is assigning to now name. Whenever I want age, that self will be assigned to age. Whenever I want salary, the self will be assigned to salary. So even though I am creating three variables, but that are actually integrated with self, that are being called with self. So it is referring to that object, whichever the object that you want to create. I'll give you very clear. So I'm not creating multiple variables. I'm only creating self. So I'm just saying instead of name, I'll say self dot name. Okay. Instead of name, I'll say self dot name. Similarly, instead of age, I'll say self dot age. Similarly, I say self dot address. So whenever I want to see, I want to use it, right? Why I'm doing here? I have some variables. I have a self keyword. I'm integrating this both. Now, if I want to call name, I will not call name because name is not existing. I'll only say self dot name. Indirectly, what I am doing, I am calling that name also. Understood, right? Indirectly, what I am doing, I'm calling that name. Whenever I want name, I will just utilize this self. So now this name will be self dot name. Whenever I want age, I'll say self dot age. Whenever I want address, I'll say self dot address. So that my what do you say, my space will be utilized. I don't want to create multiple variables. One variables, whenever I want name, I'll say self dot name. Whenever I want to use age, I'll say self dot age. Whenever I want to use address, I'll say self dot address, so that my space of our code is reduced. I hope you are understanding, right? This is what internally it works, but generally we don't say it in outside. I hope you are getting right what I'm trying to say. Everyone, just make it very clear, guys, what is exactly the process is. See, you are not creating n number of variables as part of your code. You are just creating a simple variable, and that variable is being connected whenever you want to utilize. See, you don't want to utilize all the variables at one time. I want to print name. Suppose I want to utilize name. I have created variable. See, I have created variable, but I have to utilize it, right? Whenever you create a variable, you utilize it. You don't just keep it. If you're not keeping it, automatically it will be deleted by garbage collector. When you're trying to use it, what I'm trying to use, you're not creating multiple variables. You're creating a simple one variable, and that variable itself is going to use as name, use as age, use as address. If you have hundreds of variables, only that self is going to be created. So that self is being integrated for name. Whenever I want to print the name, I'll say self dot name. Now self is with name only. Self is not with age. Whenever I want to age, my self will go and connect with age. Whenever I want salary, my self will go and connect with the salary. I hope you are getting right. Internally, you are understanding, right, everyone? See, yes, exactly. What I mean to say, this is what internally happens. But yeah, obviously, it doesn't mean that you have to use self every time. In the case whenever using self, that is called actually, whenever you're using self, then it will be do that. So it is not mandatory to use self every time. Understood, right? See, when you are using there is something called static methods. In static methods, we don't use self. Okay. In static methods, we don't use any parameter inside the class. So that is called as a static method. So there are some methods where you don't use self. And also one thing very clear you have to remember, guys, self is not, you have to only use self. You can use kelp, you can use anything, guys. So that variable, whatever you are using, that you are assigning with whatever you want. That's all. It is not exactly the self you have to use every time. These are internal things that you need to remember every time. Okay, which self is what actually a keyword. It is a keyword, so I prefer use only the keyword which is already existing. But whatever you use, that's not a big problem. No, we don't need to use any static keyword. By default, any variable that is inside the class is called as a static. Okay, outside the method and inside the class is called as a static variable. We say otherwise class variable. You can say class variable. So remember, guys, what is we are doing? We have created a class, we have created a variable, then we are creating def, a function, and a function name. Self keyword is mandatory. See, you have to remember again, whenever you are using any class, generally if you want, for every class there are some exceptional cases. Just keeping that exceptional cases aside, generally for every class method you need to use the first parameter self, and self is not considered as a parameter. It is not considered, it is called a default parameter. You don't consider it as a parameter, you don't consider it as an input that you pass as part of your method. So self is a default parameter. So how many parameters I have? If you say I have only 3 parameters, how many parameters I have? Only 3 parameters. So what I am doing, I am just saying, yeah, this keep it aside. This is called as an instance variable, or you can say local variable. Any variable that is defined inside the method, outside, inside the method is called as a local variable. No, we cannot use self as second or third variable. We cannot use it. We can only use self as the first key variable, and whatever you're using from the second is called as a self is actually a keyword, guys. It is actually an inbuilt method. Oh, sorry, inbuilt word. So that's why you have to use self only. You can use other things also, that doesn't make any problem. But the thing, what I can say, you can use self only because self is a keyword. So using a keyword is actually preferable. So what is actually happening? I am saying instead of name, I am going to say self.name. Okay, now the self is integrated with name. So I am going to internally create a variable called self instead of name, age, and salary. This self will become now name. Self.name will become name. Now age also self.age will become age. Salary also self.salary will become salary. Now what I'm going to do, instead of all these things, I am going to just use name, self.name whenever I want name, self.age whenever I want age, self.salary whenever I want salary. Okay, just to see guys, I did not do anything. I have created a class, I have created a class variable, I have created a function, def and function. Within the function I have 3 things, guys. I have name, age, and salary. So there are only 3 parameters. Self is not considered as a parameter. So in the method you say it is a method, right, or a function. Anything that is inside a class is a method. So in a method I have 3 parameters, so I have to utilize these 3 parameters. So that's why I said instead of name I am assigning that self.name. Instead of age I'm assigning self.age. Instead of salary I'm assigning self.salary. That's all. So I'm going to integrate all these things. I have to explicitly say to my system that, guys, I'm going to now connect with self. So now name is not existing. My name is now self.name. My name is self, age is self.age, salary is self.salary. Understood, right? So this is one way. This is one thing that you have done. So there is something called b equal to 20. This is again a variable, right? So this is a class variable. Class variable means a variable that is inside the class, outside the method is called as a class variable. So class variable by default it is okay. It can be accessed anywhere from the class. With the class name you can able to access anywhere in the program. Okay, anywhere in the program you can able to access. So it is indirectly like a global variable, but it is not exactly global. So you can say the class variable can be accessed throughout the program of Java, I mean Python. And this local variable will have been accessed only within this method. You cannot say b equal to 20 somewhere in other method. So I can say a equal to 10, a is 10, right? I can call a anywhere in my program, but I cannot call b equal to 20 which is inside this method anywhere outside this method. I cannot. Once this method is completed till here, this b is nowhere used, this b is not considered. So this b is called as a local variable. B is called as a local variable and or instance variable. What is that b? B is called as a local variable or an instance variable or a non-static variable. Non-static variable. Okay, non-static variable. Non-static means it's within the method, outside the, I mean within the method. Within the method, when you create any variable, that is called local or non-static variable. So you can only access b inside here. So I'm just printing b. I have said b equal to 20. I'm printing b. That's all. I did not do anything in this method, guys. I have did something. Just need to remember two things here. I've created a method with the three parameters. I'm assigning that three parameter to self. That's all. And then I've created a variable b equal to 20. I'm printing that b. So yes, non-static variables and local variables are both same. Non-static, you normally say static variables or class variables means same. Non-static variables and local variables means same. Local variable means any variable that is defined inside the method of your class is called as a local variable in class terminology. So the accessibility of this b is only within this method. You cannot access this b anywhere outside this method only method. But a access can be anywhere throughout the program. Anywhere throughout the program you can access a. Okay, you can access a with the name of the class name. You can access a. So this is what you need to remember in a very simple way. So now what I did, I have created one more method. As I said, you in a class you can create n number of variables and n number of methods. There is no problem. So I have created one more method. A method name is display. I can give any name of this, and you say self. Self is like a default parameter. You don't need to mention. It is not considered as a parameter, that's all. Okay, it is like a default thing that you need to provide for every class. So that's why I said self. I'm just doing what? I'm just assigning self.name, self.age, and self.salary. Are you guys understanding what I'm trying to say? I'm just saying self.name, self.age, and self.salary. I'm just printing them. I'm just printing the data which I have assigned here. Here I'm assigning, here I'm printing. Here I'm assigning, here I'm printing. So I have just created one more method to print the data whatever I have. So I did not assign any data. So how this actually the data works and all, I'll explain you. This is nothing but a destructor. You don't need to understand this destructor. What does exactly this mean? I'll explain you later. So see guys, what I did, I have created two methods, and in a class employee I have created two methods and one variable and two methods. Okay, one method is actually initialization and other method is calling them. That means printing them. Okay, so yes, self is mandatory for every class method. For every class method you need to have self. Understood, right? There are some exceptional cases where you create a class method. There are some exceptional cases whenever any method is a class method or a static method. So there is some exceptional cases. I'll explain you that, but that is not important now. Here for normal class method, any method as part of class should have self by default. By default, you need to have self. Then I'm creating the object. How do you create an object? Any object name equal to the class name, like this. Open and close. What does exactly it means? You're going to create the object. You're going to create the instance of your class. You're going to create the object. So I'm going to create the object for the class. I'm going to create the object for this class. If you are very clear understanding how this process works, I'll explain you, but you just need to understand I'm going to create the object of the class employee. So you can, if you want to call this methods, there is only one way. You have to call with the name of the object. So you say object dot f1. What is f1? F1 is nothing but the function 1. So I am going to now call this method. You got it, right? You know normally how the methods will be called. Methods normally will be called directly, but here if you want to call any method, you need to create an object and you need to call the method using the object. That's why I have created. This is actually, see, this is actually the object and this is the reference of the object. EMP1 is the reference of the object and EMP, this is called object. You're creating a new object like this. Okay, so EMP1 is nothing but reference of the object. So EMP1.f1, EMP1.f1, Arjun 23 20,000. So I'm just providing the arguments to these parameters. So Arjun, name is nothing but Arjun, age is 23, salary is 20,000. Whenever I call this method, what it does exactly, it immediately goes here and assign name to Arjun, age to 23, and salary to 20,000. Understood, right? Salary to 20,000. Now what happens? This name self dot name. My Arjun will become self dot name, because I'm saying name equal self dot name equal to name, right? Now Arjun will become self dot name, self dot age will become 23, self dot age will become 23, and then salary will become 20,000. This is what it is going to do. So now self dot name is nothing but Arjun, self dot age is 23, self dot salary is 20,000. So this is just a dictionary representation of employee. You don't require it now, so you don't even require to call the class now. So what I'm doing, employee one dot display. Again, I'm going to use the same reference of the object and calling this method. So when I call this method, what I'm supposed to get, I need to get the name, age, and salary. So we already know the name is nothing but Arjun, age is 23, and salary is 20,000. So when I just call this method, it will immediately go to this display method and print all these three data. When I just run this program, you got it right. You're understanding how it is actually happening. I'll explain you the process. So the execution will start outside the class. The execution will not start inside the class. So initially, what does it actually happens? I'll explain you. Yeah. See, from here, it will immediately go and create an object of a class. So it will see, is there any class called employee? Yes, there is a class. Now, then successfully object will be created. Then immediately that object dot F1. So that object is there. Object means what? It is actually an entity of a class, or you can say it is a physical entity of a class. I'll give you a simple example of what is object and class. Suppose if you want to construct any building, guys, if you want to construct any building, okay, if you want to construct any building, a simple way, not a building, I want to construct a group of villas. You see, right, there are some gated community villas which are like 100 houses I want to build. So for building 100 houses, I need to have one complete blueprint, right? I need to have a blueprint saying that where should I have my bathroom, where should I have my bedroom, where should I have my all kitchen room and all stuff. I need to have a blueprint. Without seeing that blueprint, I cannot develop any house. Understood, right? So that you see that the blueprint is nothing but like a class. The blueprint is nothing but a class. So, and the house is nothing but an object. So you can able to see the blueprint, and according to that blueprint, you are creating the class. So, you are creating the object. So object is nothing but a physical entity of a class. A class is nothing but it is a blueprint of defining the objects. Understood, right? Whenever you are creating any object, that object will have all rights to access this class. Understood, right? You are creating any object of that class, that object will have all rights to access any entity of that class. Similarly, like, right, whatever you are creating, according to the blueprint, you are creating the construction. The construction is completely made based on the class. You can exactly build the same as your blueprint. However, that blueprint is there, you can create it. And you can ask me how many objects I can create. How many objects here? How many objects we are creating? So we are creating n number of objects. We can create n number of villas by one blueprint. We don't create a separate blueprint for every class, right? For every villa, right? Suppose I have gated community of 100 houses to be built. I will have one blueprint, and according to that one blueprint, I will create n number of houses. I'll create all the houses in the same by the same blueprint. I'll not create one blueprint for every house. Got it, right? Because they look like similar. They are same. They utilize the same methods of blueprint. You don't need to create a different blueprint. Similar to that, what I mean to say here is, you can create n number of objects with one blueprint. One blueprint means one class. You can create n number of objects with one class. So this is actually the benefit. So here I have created one object. I can create n number of objects. I can create emp2. This is one more object, which is again an object of class. Then I can say emp2 dot, I'll create something f1. This time I can provide a different data. See, I'm building a different house by the same blueprint of my class. Okay, this time someone called suppose Kalyan is there. Okay, so his age is suppose 30. Okay, his is 30, and then you can the salary is around 80,000 suppose. Okay, I can say emp2 dot display here. See guys, you got it right. I have created one more object now. I have created one more object and calling the things. By using the same class, I'm going to utilize it for different objects. Understood, right? See, now Arjun 23 and 2000 become, and now Kalyan 30 and 80,000. I can create n number of objects like this with one class. You can build n number of houses with one blueprint, which can be which are similar to look, but the internally they are different. They are not same. Understood, right? I mean, which are
Small
similar.
doubt, Nikhil.
Yes, yes.
So why did we give A is equal to 10 and B is equal to 20? Because we are not using that here, right?
No. We can still use it. Yeah. See, if you want to access any class method, you need to say print the class name dot, because it is a class method, right? It is a class variable, right? So we can use class name dot a. Understood, right? You got it right. Then you got output, right? Class name dot. You need, if you want to access any class variable, you have to say class name dot that variable. I'm already utilizing B. B equal to 20. I'm printing B. So that's why every time, yeah, we can also access with the employee one. We can also use that employee one. We can also access with the object. But yeah, I prefer use the class name. Okay, because you can access anywhere. If you want to access here, still you can able to access. I can access like this, employee dot a, but you cannot access using the method there. Got it right? See, you can able to access here, but if you cannot say the method dot and object dot here, you cannot do that. Okay, so you were saying like this, right? Are you saying like this, emp1 dot a? Still you can still use that. You can still use that. That's not a problem, but normally you use with the class name. Okay, the class name you can use. So just understand, guys. I hope you are understood the basic content of what we are going to discuss. Normally, see, that's why it takes a lot of time to make you understand. If you are a fresher, if you are experienced, then you don't need to worry out. See, there are two things here in a very simple way. Any variable that is with the self, any variable or any method that is having the self as a first parameter is called as an instance method. This is called as an instance method. Instance method means I have a self parameter. I have a self parameter inside that method, which is a class method. So that's why you say instance method. It is an instance method because you have something called self parameter. Okay, so you just need to understand some of the terminologies here. I'll explain you the terminologies. What are the terminologies we have seen? What is actually a class variable? Tell me, what is a class variable? Any variable which is inside the class is called as outside the method. Inside the class and outside the method, that is called as a class method. What is meant by instance method? Sorry, instance method. Tell me, no? Any method with self as first parameter. Is called as a instance method. Then what is a local variable? Tell me, no? In a class, any variable
Which we assign
Any
to
variable
an,
within that method.
within the class, within the method. Within the method is called as a local variable. So what is actually inside a method or whatever? See, that's up to you to say. Self means default parameter which refers to the present object. So it is like referring to the present object. Understood, right?
Sir, I have a small doubt.
Yeah, yeah.
So while calling F1, you are not passing any values for self, and all these values are passed
That's
here
what
like
I said.
earlier.
That's what I said. Self should not be passed. Self is like a default. You should not pass any. It is not at all considered as a parameter.
Okay, sir. Then how do you distinguish between the static method and the non-static method? Non-static method, I understood. I mean, I have to write self inside the F parameter, but how do you
No, no,
distinguish?
non-static method. No, it's not a method. See, non-static variable.
So then
No,
F1 is
no.
the instant, right?
F1 is an instance method. Yeah.
Okay, sir. How do you know this is instance or static?
Because you have self. You have self. For static, you don't have anything. You will not have like this.
Thank you, sir.
You will not have anything, and also you need to create an annotation. You have to provide annotation saying that there is static method. So you have to personally say that, so that it will understand that okay, it is a static method and it doesn't takes any self keyboard. Understood, right? So I will explain you all these things in later cases. You don't need to worry. There are some class methods, and that I'll explain you in the frameworks. When we are discussing frameworks, you will understand. You need to use CLS for a class method if you are using any class method. So which is not a which is not a what do you say? Which is not a static instance method. You have to use CLS. Understood, right? So now it becomes a class method. So it doesn't. So it is not a static anymore. It is not instance anymore. It becomes a class method. So you need to make an annotation on top of every method. We have whatever the method you are implementing. So you have three methods basically. You have an instance method, you have a class method, you have a self static method. In the static method, you don't provide any parameter, okay, like self or anything, okay. And by default, everything is an instance method. So you don't need to mention any annotation here. When you're using self here, you don't need to mention any annotation. So by default, it is a static. It is a instance method. If you want to create a class method, again you have to use that way, okay. So the differences and all I'll explain you when we are discussing that one. Now we don't much require. I'll explain you clearly. It will be understood to you whenever we are discussing this, okay. So when it is a class method, there is some difference. When it is a static method, there is some difference. When it is a instance method, there is some difference, okay. So normally it is an instance method. It is an instance method because you don't need to mention anything separately. When you're using self, by default, it will be considered as instance method. So you create an object. You know what is a class? Class consists of two things, guys. One is variables. Class consists of variables, and other is methods. Class consists of variables and methods. You say same as you say attributes and behavior. Okay, attributes and behavior of it. Right? We have methods. Methods means like how exactly these are defined, and variables. So it is not mandated to have all the two. At least one is okay, or two is okay, or at least one is okay, whatever it is. But it is actually a collection of variables and methods. What is an object? Object is what is object? Object is like a physical entity of a class. It's a entity of a class. That means it is actually a product of a class. When I have some class, understood, right? As I said you, right? By seeing the blueprint only, I'll create my houses. Okay, but house, exactly, the house is nothing but it is a product of my blueprint. It is just a product. I will just utilize the same thing as part of my class. Whatever is there inside of class, I'll utilize it, and accordingly I'll build it. I can create n number of houses with the same blueprint. I can create n number of objects with the same class, one class reference, and I can create n number of objects. Okay, similarly, class is like a blueprint. What you say? It is a blueprint for defining the objects. Defining objects. Yeah. Then there are some other topics that we have to discuss, like constructor and all stuff. See, I have not defined any constructor as of such. There is a concept of constructor actually in Python, and there are some other technical terms you need to understand. What is an instance? Instance is nothing but an object. Okay, object is called as an instance of a class. It's a part of it. It's a part of a class. What is a class variable? What is a data member? Data member. What is a data member? Any variable. It can be a static variable or a instance variable or a non-static variable. Or a class variable. Local variable or a non-static variable is called as actually a data member. Data member means, just need to understand some terminologies. Yeah, any variable of a class is called as a data member. All these are terminologies you need to remember, guys. So any variable, it can be a static or non-static, is called as data member. Yeah. Anything else we are supposed to discuss? We need to understand about constructor. We need to understand about destructor.
Sir, how many concepts in OOPS concept?
No, there are very few. You just need to understand very basically by
Sir, in
seeing
Java, we have inheritance, encapsulation, abstraction. We have like that.
Yeah,
Right?
that we are not discussed. We have not discussed. These are all very simple components of class. In Python also we have inheritance, we have polymorphism, we have abstraction, we have encapsulation. All these things we have. I'll explain you all these things one by one. Don't worry. But as part of a very simple understanding of a class, initial explanation of a class is what we are going to see. Okay.
So can you create a very simple class, sir, next time when you explain that next concepts?
Yeah, this is a simple class, right? It is not a complex class. Do you think it is a complex class? Whatever you have seen here. Is it a complex class, boss? It is a very simple class, right? It is a very simple class. I said class, a class name, and some variable. I don't even require this. See, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Require that.
Yeah.
I don't
Actually,
require this one. I don't require this. I don't require this as well. This is for your understanding how exactly this process works. So I can see. Let me speak very clearly. You don't require the classes concept much in your Selenium. You require it, but not much. Only for the page object model you require it. But it is very good to have the concept of classes. If you don't have any knowledge in the classes, it will be very difficult for you as part of core coding, core Python. So you need to, because these are all very basic things. I want you to be very strong, at least in the basics. See, I'm not using anything, just I run it. I get the same output as well. Oops. Oh, there are a lot of other things, I think so. See, I got an error because saying that A is not existing. I cannot print A because A is not there. So I get output. See, it is a very simple program, guys. Very simple. I have two methods. I'm just calling. I'm creating an object and calling them. So there is something called underscore init. This is a inbuilt method. This method is called as a constructor. Understood, right? What is that? Init is nothing but a constructor. Init is nothing but a constructor. Constructor means what? There are two explanations for constructor. Constructor means one explanation for constructor. I'll explain it. In Java, when you see constructor should have the same name of the class. See, normally in Java, what you do, you create a constructor that will have the same name of the class. But in Python, you don't need to have any name of the class constructor. By default, underscore init underscore is called as a constructor in Python, which is an inbuilt method. Second option, there are two explanations. I said you right. Constructor means there are two explanations. One is, yeah, we can assign values, right? We are able to assign values. See, second thing, whenever an object is created, construction method is called by default. Understood, right? What I'm trying to say here, you don't need to explicitly call the constructor method. See, now what we are trying to do here, just need to understand here, make you understand here what is it is different from others. See, guys, here I have F1. How do I call that F1? Employee1.f1. I am passing the three variables here. Yeah, I'm going to pass the three parameters, arguments to the variables. So this 3 will be assigned to this 3. Okay, age, name, and salary. So name, age, and salary. Because whenever I'm calling, it will immediately go here and it will assign the values. This is what the function call, right? Normally, here we are only doing the function call. See how we are doing. We are only doing the function call, but the name, but with the object only. So normally in the class, you cannot directly do the function call. You can only do the function call by using the object. So you need to create the object reference and then you can able to call it. This is the procedure of a class. But in constructor, whenever you're using a method called underscore underscore init underscore underscore, okay, there is no concept of calling the method. You don't need to, you are supposed to call like this. Suppose you need to call like this. If you want to call, you have to call like this. But in Python, whenever you're using constructor, you are not using like this. Whenever you are creating an object, how you are creating an object, this is the way create an object. This is the object, right? You're creating, this is the reference of the object. So when you're creating an object, there itself you pass the parameters of the init. I hope you're getting right. This is the way you do it. In constructor, what is the concept of constructor? Constructor have two options. In Java, when you say constructor should have the same name of the class. And also second thing, whenever an object is created, automatically a constructor method is called. You don't need to explicitly call the method like this. Employee1.f1, it will go here and call this method. You don't need to use this method. You don't need to use init. You don't need to say emp1 dot underscore underscore init underscore underscore and then pass the variables. Whenever you are creating object, by default, this will be assigned to them. Understood, right? If I run this program, you see I got the same. I got an error. What is that error? Let's see. There are 3 arguments, and did we use only 1 argument or what? Arguments are 3. Init self is missing. Type error. Init is miss. 1 minute. Let me check it. What is a simple error? 3 required positional arguments. How many we passed? We passed 3 only, right? Then what is the issue? No. There is no self deletion will happen. There is no concept of deleting self. Why should we delete self? Why we should delete self here? There is nothing to delete the self. Let me check it out very simple concept. You don't need to think in much ways. Okay. Employee2. Sorry, I'm sorry, guys. Employee2.f1. There is nothing called employee2.f1. Got it right? Simple one. See, this is a simple concept. You don't need to think on much. I got it right. You got output. There is nothing called employee2.f1. F2, there is nothing called F2. So that's why you got an error. So you got very clear, right? Here itself, when we are using underscore underscore init, you have to pass the 3 arguments. Here itself, when you're creating the object. This is the constructor concept. You have to understand, guys. Everyone clear, right? Everyone, any doubts till now? In a simple explanation of class, you don't need to worry. I'll explain you topic wise topic very simply. The only thing is we don't have much time, guys. My personal interest, I'm teaching. I'm teaching Python. My personal interest. Normally, Python is not been actually useful. I mean, not been provided as a teaching to me. I'm teaching you. So you understood, right? Simple basic concept, everyone. Any doubts you can ask me now. See, how do you create a class? You create a class like this, class name. You say some variable equal to, this is a class variable or a static variable. And then we have, you create a methods like this. First variable you create as self. Why we use self, we already know it. Whenever I want to print the self.name, it will only print self. Self will be now assigning to name. I want to access age. Now the age will be accessed with self. I want to access salary. My self is going to access. So whenever I need some variable, that will be assigned, that will be linked to self. So instead of wasting my memory, I just assign it with each and every variable that I create. So I don't waste much memory. So that is actually internally happens, but whenever someone asks you what is self, you say that self is nothing but it is referring to the present object. Whatever the object we are going to call, that object it is referring. It is going to connect or whatever you want to say, it refers to the present object itself. Okay, got it, right? So you can create n number of methods, guys. This is one thing. You can create n number of methods. You can create n number of methods with n number of parameters. Got it, right? Second thing, how do you assign with name? Self, every time whenever you're using self, that self has to be assigned with each and every parameter. Self.name, self.age, self.salary. See, I don't want to actually provide anything. I can also give like this. Suppose 30, I can also provide the value. What happens, I will say you. If I print it, I'm providing 23. My 23 will be replaced by 30 now. I'm providing 30. Okay, I'll do 32 because it will be confusion. My 30 will be replaced by 32. If I print now, you see, right? I'm not getting anything. I'm getting 32 every time. So when you want to fix some data, okay, you can directly assign it. If you want to change as per your object, you have to provide like this. You have to say age. Understood, right? When you say age, whatever the age you are providing here, that age will be provided. But when I see some age here, by default, that age only will be taken. Understood, right? 32 means only 32. It will be assigned to all the, no matter how many objects you create, but every time it will give the same age. So it will be replacing that value. So that's what you need to understand exactly, whether you want to assign the value there itself or you don't want to assign. Self is a mandatory keyword as part of instance, your class. There are some exceptions where you don't require it. That exception we will discuss later. But by default, whenever there is a class, you need to have it. Yeah. So you just need to create. You create an object. You create the reference of it. You are calling the methods. Normally you call, right? You call the methods, right? In a functions you call the methods, right? But here you call with the name of the reference of the object. So that one, and you are passing whatever you are passing as arguments, that will be taken as the will be assigned to the parameters. So these are called arguments. Yeah, you can have n number of methods using self here. There is no restriction to have self. I can create n number of methods. I'll create one more method. See, I can create any method that should be there as part of class should have self. I'll say m1. I'll have self. Okay, I'll have self. I'll say print. If you don't use self, you'll get error. Something else. And I'll have one more method. M2. Okay, I'll have self. Every time you need to have self, guys. Self is not considered as a parameter itself. It is the default parameter which refers to the present object. If the object itself is not there, then there is no problem. If that any object is there, it will refer to it. So if I print it, I'll not get any output. I'll not get any error. Got it, right? I'm not printing them. See, I'm not calling them. How can I call it? I can say emp1.m1. I can call it emp1.m2. Okay. Now I'll get print statement as well. You got it, right? Whatever I have taken into print statement. You can create n number of variables like this. I hope see two things, guys. When you are simple, understandable about the concept, you can create n number of classes, n number of objects. You can able to assign. If you know simple concept, if you know basics, you can play with it. But the thing is, like, you should be clear with concepts. What exactly it is, which has to be provided, which should not be provided, which can be taken and all. See, I have just taken 4 methods. 2 methods is what we want, and other 2 methods we don't require it. Simply we have created. Every method you create should have self. Any object is there, any variable is there, it will assign to that. If there is nothing, then there is no problem. Okay, guys, I think it's time we have to leave. Thank you, guys. Then tomorrow we will discuss, because we have not discussed much things. People who paid fees, please pay the fees. If you paid fees, then I will add you into group.
Sir, I have already paid the fees, but I don't have the link directly to attend this class. I have to register for the demo lecture and then I will get the link.
See, guys, 2 things here. One thing very clear I want to mention. I don't have any access to the things what you are saying. I cannot provide you any link because I am not accessible for it. I cannot provide you anything. The only thing I have to say here is, even I have the same access as yours. I'll give you one number. Give you one number. In the chat, I will provide you. Please contact them. If they are not responding, then tell me. I will talk with them in a very serious mode. Understood, right? I'll give you some number, because These people are supposed to do that because I don't have any access. Even I have the same access as yours. If even I want to share some media, or if I want to ask something, I have to reach them similar to you. So the only thing I have to do is like I have to reach them. So I'll give you some number. Please talk with them. Say that this is what 70272 12428. This is the number of Durgasoft online team. You talk with them for any information. Okay.
And sir,
You talk.
I am not added yet in any group for
See,
the links of
WhatsApp.
videos.
See. WhatsApp group. We have WhatsApp group where we will discuss. Whoever paid fees, please tell their number. I'll add you in the WhatsApp group. Yeah. Whoever paid fees. Who did not
Sir,
pay fees, don't add it.
I have also paid. Sir, I have also paid the fees day before yesterday.
Your name, please.
So Toshi Jain.
Vaishali.
Okay. Tejasvi. Sorry. Joshi. Toshi Jain. You also paid, huh?
Yes, sir.
You paid. Okay. Toshi Jain.
I
I'll
have
add you in the
sent
group.
you my number.
Yes.
Sir, I have
Other,
put my number into the chat box.
yeah. And one more thing. Who paid?
Even I paid. My name is
I have paid.
Yeah. Wait. One by one. Don't attention. 8788 605 344. Your name? Varnik Vaishali.
Vaishali, sir.
Yeah. Anyone else? Paid? One more girl.
Yeah, my name is Tanvi. I've pinged in the chat box my number.
Your name, please. Tanvi, right?
Tanvi.
When did you pay all these people?
I paid today.
I have paid day before yesterday.
So I'm adding you to the group, guys. All of 3 now. Anyone else still paid fees and not there in the group? In this, otherwise you can leave, please. Other people can leave.
I paid. Sabirullah.
Yeah, please tell me your number, no?
895.
Okay. Yeah.
141. 0050.
Your name? Sabirullah, right?
Yes.
Yeah. 4 people, right? Now newly 4 people.
Yes.
1 minute. Then what are the other? Vaishali, right? Then what is the other one? Toshi Jain.
Yes.
Then what is your name?
Tanvi.
One more Tanvi, right?
Yeah,
I've added all of you. I've added all of you in the group. I mean, I have sent it. You will be added in the group soon. Okay. So any discussions you want to contact me, regarding the subject and all stuff, we can discuss over there. Okay. That is like a everyday discussions. If you have any doubts, you can post in that group and answers will be set there.
So when we will get the previous 4 lectures videos?
You please talk with them. If they are not responding, I will talk with them. Because I don't have access for those videos. I have to even talk with them only. I have to contact them only.
Okay.
See, I have same access as yours. What you are having, even I have same access. I don't have any access to any videos. Once this video is recorded, it will directly go to them only.
Okay.
That is the problem. So class notes will be sent to you guys, all of you. Class notes will be sent to you. Don't worry, Durgasoft class notes will be sent, and also my class notes will be sent to in the group only. People who paid fees and they are into the group, they were added in the group. For those people, it will be sent. Don't worry. But videos part, you please talk with them. I'm not responsible for videos. I hope you understood, right? If they are not providing, then tell me. I will talk with them.
Yeah, sure.
They are responsible. Thank you, guys. Everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.